Oh, the kid's a natural. What can I say? Oh, welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 216, your once-weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Welcome to the show, everyone, especially you. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Anchor.fm or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we don't normally have a baby on here, but we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, entertainment, usually some Star Trek. We read all super chats on the air so long as they will not permanently demonetize my channel. If you're drinking along with us, be it alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat and we'll give some early show shoutouts as we go along. And last but not least, if you like the content you see on this channel and want to help support us in what we do, consider joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. You'll get exclusive access to the Discord server where you can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and take part in the awesome and ever-growing community that hangs out over there. Yeah. Oh, you didn't like that plug? You didn't like that plug?
Well, you didn't say you get to talk to him.
I didn't, yeah. Yeah, X is on there sometimes, too. Yes. So, in his awesome blanket.
I know, I was going to say, speaking of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Did you see that The Next Generation was trending
Did you see Deep Space Nine started the trending?
Yeah.
Deep Space Nine was trending yesterday.
Yes.
And because of that, they're like, well, can we get TNG trending too? See, again.
It's because we don't need to boast.
Right.
We know we're the best.
Yeah.
We're like, we know it. You know it. Everyone knows it.
Yep. Okay.
I don't see a Captain Sisko on that blanket.
He's on the backside, I think.
Yeah. Where the baby poops.
There's a Worf. There's a Riker. I got Data. Yeah. Oh, what's going on, buddy? What's going on, buddy? It's his bedtime.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm gonna be a YouTube star.
Oh, goodness. Drama.
Oh, yes.
All the drama. Yeah.
Why can't we just love both Star Treks?
Yeah. Can't we all just get along?
He's a Discovery fan.
Oh, don't you put that. Reverend says, not gonna lie, I'm in the middle of a DS9 rewatch, and it's been at least a year since my last TNG rewatch.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done both of those. It's probably been about a year and a half.
Yeah.
So there's so many
says,
other shows I've been catching up on and redoing, and so many remakes that have been going on that I just like. I tried to redo the Dexter, couldn't do Dexter.
Yeah.
In time. I got through like 3 seasons, and I was like, I got through my favorite season, and I was like, okay, I'm done. Every now and then, though, like Star Trek will show up on, the BBC, and I'll watch that really quick, late at night.
Oh yeah.
Like, what's on? I should probably watch. Oh, Star Trek. That's a good episode. I'll watch that for 40 minutes and fall asleep.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into the best part of every Wednesday. That is the beer. John, would you like to go first?
Sure. I have a stout.
Do you?
A imperial stout, Jeff. One of your personal favorites.
Ooh.
I have the Parabola.
Oh, you got Parabola.
Yes. The 2020.
Nice.
So I will be.
What's funny is that was going to be my guess.
I kind of figured. It's a great stout.
Right? Like, it's seriously one of my favorite all time.
Oh, yeah. No. 13.6% rye, whiskey barrel, and bourbon barrel aged. You can't go wrong.
Right. Well, we have a funny little coincidence. I also have a stout. It also came in a brown box.
Did you get the same one?
I did not.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Oh, sorry. No, this one is not a stout. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, I knew that. No, I knew this was not a stout. But I do have a large beer from the same brewery. This is the 2021 Sticky Monkey.
Oh, good one. I thought you were going to say anniversary, but both good. I like Sticky Monkey.
I think I have an anniversary. I think I have one downstairs.
Yeah, I debated the anniversary of the Pearl Apple.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going Sticky Monkey, which is a Central Coast quad. So it's a Belgian quad aged in bourbon barrels.
Oh, nice maltiness.
Yes.
No, I just haven't had a Pearl in a long time, and that was just like, as soon as I opened the fridge, it was right there. I was like, yeah, this is time. And
well,
I'm pretty sure I have 2 of these. So.
Oh, man. I haven't even picked it up off the table.
This is chocolate.
Oh, that's wonderful.
This is good stuff.
Oh, I am so glad I'm not sharing this one.
Oh, yes. Look at that.
Those are some beautiful beers.
I know.
Oh, all right. Let's see what everyone else is
we
having
got
tonight.
Novella Hub is having a Black Stack Brewing. What is that? Sponge Bath Double IPA.
Ooh.
TBH Sponge Bath Double IPA.
Skull's got an Oso Brewing Convenient Distraction Imperial Coffee Porter, but opening something fun for the after party, as if that wasn't fun already.
Yes.
Right.
Well, yeah. Oh, well, Rev is having a Firestone 25th anniversary ale.
Well, there you go.
There we go. So if I remember correctly, this, I believe, is like the Costco pack.
Yes.
Out of all 3 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got the trifecta. So
we got the trifecta.
Dr. Ian making an appearance. Howdy, Tech Potato.
Howdy.
Feel free to crack open a cider. I know it's only like 5 a.m. for you, but
breakfast cider.
Yeah. The best start to any day.
We got Jeremy having a Mountain Dew. Nothing wrong with a good dew.
That's right. William's got a Dragon Milk Reserve salted caramel.
Ooh.
Tasty. Kren sends over 5 Aussie bucks and his standard g'day greeting. G'day, Kren.
We got Jason with a Freem Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout, 11%.
Ooh. Don't see much Freem out there.
No.
Very cool.
Well, I know they have a subscription box that they send you once a year, but if I remember correctly, this is pretty pricey. It's like 120 bucks a year. But they send you like all of their barrel stuff. Like here's all the rare stuff. And I believe it's like 3 or 4 experimental or blends that is specifically only to the, members. That's kind of interesting, but then it's still a hit or miss. How is that beer?
Excuse me while I reenact the scene from Matrix 2 with the cheesecake.
I thought you were going to talk about the DS or the Voyager scene with the cheesecake. And
that too. Yeah. Technically, that was the Doctor.
My bad.
Such a good scene.
That was a pretty funny episode.
That was. What's amazing is they both did so well. In doing the impression of the other actor.
Yeah, you're improving the other actor. It was basically the exact same as Face Off.
Yeah. Yeah, John Travolta and Nicolas Cage playing each other in a movie. Yeah. No, they nailed mannerisms and everything else. It was fantastic. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the news.
Yes.
Starting with, John, do you think there's anything wrong with the music industry? Like, I know we killed it hundreds and hundreds of times in our lifetime from, audio cassettes being able to record the radio are going to mean no one's going to go buy cassettes anymore and records. And then when CDs came out, no one's going to buy cassettes anymore. Yeah. And how dare you have CD to tape duplication ability? And, think of the starving artists out there.
Oh, I know. How dare you use a CDR?
Right. No, even just when CDs came out.
Yes. How dare you use a cassette off of the radio?
Right. A case that I believe went all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And then, of course, there was the infamous introduction of the MP3 and compressed audio on the computer, and the death of the music industry is inbound.
And then Metallica goes nuts.
Yeah. Napster, how dare you? You know, my generation has thoroughly killed the music. Oh, wait, no, record profits? Last 9 years? Yeah. Apparently they're doing fine. And it's an interesting point that they're doing fine, especially when you look at the breakdown of payments from all of the different streaming providers. So we know album sales aren't doing nearly as well as they used to, but monetization of music is at an all-time high, thanks to platforms like Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, etc. There was an interesting post. T-Pain. You know T-Pain.
Yeah, the guy that can sing really well.
Yeah. Never misses a note. Always perfectly in tune.
Always pitch perfect.
So T-Pain posted a little repost on Twitter that he downloaded off Reddit. And he says, just so you know, and it is the number of streams of a song needed for an artist to make $1 on the leading music platforms. Okay? Ready for this?
All right.
In last place, with 1,250 plays required, is, unsurprisingly, YouTube Music. We all know that YouTube doesn't have the greatest monetization. They take the lion's share of ad revenue and don't even tell you what ads played on your channel and everything else. They're just like, oh yeah, you earned this. It's like, okay, can I look at... No, you can't look at the numbers.
Yeah.
So last place is YouTube Music with 1,250 playbacks of a single song to earn an artist $1. Okay. Next up, we've got Pandora at 752. We've got Spotify at 315. So we're starting to get a little bit better.
Starting to get pretty decent.
We've got Amazon Music and Deezer and iTunes kind of wrapping up the last of the top 5 there. Then we've got Tidal Music at 78. And what's this? The savior of the record industry? Napster,
that cat logo?
with the highest monetization for artists at 53 playbacks to earn them $1.
So wait, are they saying that if I download that song 53 times, they get $1?
Yes. Yeah. Well, Napster has a streaming platform now very similar to Spotify, and you can listen to music and whatnot for a low monthly payment, but they pay the artists way more than everyone else.
It'd be so ironic would be if like Metallica was like their number one artist to go for, and they sponsor them like the most plays.
Just comes full circle. Yeah,
just came full circle.
Yeah,
here's your money back.
Lars standing up on stage going, yeah, so listen to us. Our new album's going to be on Napster.
Napster. Our latest single is on Napster. Yeah. We love here in Metallica. We love Napster. Yeah. It was that Jason Newsted guy. It was always his fault.
Join us on the 2023 Napster tour.
Oh, God. That would be hilarious if Napster sponsored their tour.
I so want to see that happen.
That would be so funny. Yeah, I remember when that was such a big deal. There was Napster, LimeWire, Kazaa. Thank you. Yep. That was the one. Yep. Kazaa.
One of the only arrests and prosecutions for music sharing over the internet actually happened in Eugene, Oregon on the U of O campus. It was the very first arrest, and I believe one of the first prosecutions for it.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the guy
was using campus internet. Was using.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
and then if I remember, it wasn't even like it was like that many albums too. I mean, it was like like $1,300 to $1,400 worth of albums, but that's technically not a whole lot. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing when you talk copyright law violation, sharing, that kind of thing, because in the US, I believe that a theft can only be prosecuted for 10 times the value of the good that was stolen. And so if I walk into a CD store, let's say a Sam Goody or a...
Wait, those still exist?
No. Let's say I walk into a record store and I steal a CD off the shelf, and let's just say $15 for simplicity. The most that they could charge me criminally for that is $150. That could be the total fine for that. Now, obviously, you have court costs and everything, but the actual penalty could be $150. Unless I upload that CD to the internet, in which case each instance of each song that went up from that album is punishable by up to $250,000.
Yeah.
Each instance. So
each instance.
10 songs on an album.
But then how are everyone else that uploads it and then shares that upload?
Right. Well, they're culpable as well for all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So okay, but how do you get all of those people and how you do all that math and really though, but file sharing is I'm only sharing part of the file.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sharing the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
So technically you could get away with the idea of after one time, I only did it one time. After that, I only did a fraction of it, which is not a whole entire thing. So I did not give you the whole entire song or album or video or whatever. Technically, I only gave you a fraction of it. It was an incomplete item. So I wonder if you could do that argument somehow.
You know, you might be able to.
But I also remember, back then this was still relatively new.
Yeah.
And those laws back then, it was still early 2000s was still album sales and touring. Nowadays, everything like we were talking about, these streaming platforms is singles. No one cares about how many albums you sell. And then
right. So Ian says he thought it was a max of 150, not 250. Actually, according to the RIAA website, that what the law says and what it means. Quote, making unauthorized copies of copyrighted music is against the law and may subject you to civil and criminal liability. Now, this includes peer-to-peer sharing, ripping discs and giving them to friends, and illegal copying of that media. A civil lawsuit could hold you responsible for thousands of dollars in damages. Criminal charges may leave you with a felony record accompanied by 5 years of jail time and fines of up to $250,000. So
now that's the current law, though, right?
Yeah, that law has been in effect since like 95 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I guess that
it was written specifically for people who were like bootlegging CDs and whatnot. Yeah. Tape and CD bootlegging.
Yeah. Interesting. But still, I wonder if you can then get away with the fraction, because at a certain point, you are just giving away fractions.
Yep. And as Ian points out, technically letting someone borrow your CD qualifies too. Right. You purchased the right to listen to that music. You didn't purchase the right to loan that music to anyone else to listen to.
I thought it was technically the right to
private.
I thought you could
private in-home use. Private in-home use. And in fact, if there's more than like 10 people there, you're in violation of copyright and broadcast laws.
So wait a second. Then how do rental stores? So then could I just
rental stores have special agreements? They have agreements with publishers and distributors and things like that to rent out the license for nominal fees, and the distributors and publishers get a kickback of every rental.
Do they?
They do.
Even like little mom and pop shops?
Mom and pop shops, yes. You know the one that I know, and I'm really good friends with.
Exactly. That was the one I was thinking of, because I know it's not a mainstream one,
right?
And they always had the latest and greatest.
Yep.
And so my thought was, what's the difference then if I buy it?
He had a license and contractual agreements to be able to rent out certain, it has to be from certain studio houses and certain distributors and publishers and things
I would
like that.
imagine it's from a distributor who the distributor has a license to do it, and then they go through them. It's a third party.
Kind of, yes.
Boom, boom, boom.
I've also dealt with things like school districts and churches and, you know, public and private entities who are wanting to play videos. Like your church wants to do like a Thursday movie night or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you realize you have to have a license to play videos in a public setting like that?
Yeah, I guess
you can get the license for as little as about $250, and then you get a catalog of videos that you can watch. And there are limitations, like you cannot charge admission, you cannot even sell concessions. There's a whole laundry list of things that you have to license.
I knew about the license because, you know, back at the bar I did the horror movie night, but then I could only do B movies that were under the license of you know, free for use.
Right.
But that was the great part because it was always about B or C horror movies, so it worked out. But yeah, I at least I knew about that part.
Yeah.
I did not know about though the buying it and then you couldn't technically borrow or, you know, lend it out.
Yeah.
I should say.
Yeah, because you as the original purchaser and your immediate family can have access to that, or your private organization can have access to that, unless there's a certain number of people in.
What if a business buys the video? Then could theoretically everyone in that business view that video?
No, because that is now a public viewing. It's public broadcast.
No. So if a let's say if it was bought on corporation money,
right? Let's say.
Account, so it's not owned by an individual; it's owned by the corporation.
Doesn't matter. In fact, you're under a different set of laws now. Yeah, no.
So then who could
copyright law is so the only way that the record companies and the video companies, so the RIAA and the MPAA and all their associated, you know, branches and whatnot, don't get a cut of every playback is when you go to Walmart, buy a disc, and play it in your home. If it's anywhere else, if it's any other venue, if it's more than 5 people, if it's this, if it's that, they get a cut. They get a cut because they sell you a license based on who you are, what the venue is, and how you're playing it.
Interesting.
But MP3s are going to kill the music industry.
Yep, exactly. Thing is, though, no one really enforces 99% of these laws anyways. They're there.
Ian says, if they all watch it individually, John is correct, where if let's say Craft Computing buys a copy of The Matrix, okay? And I watch The Matrix, and then you in my office watch The Matrix, and then Rhett comes to my office and he watches The Matrix. Even if I'm not in the room, you can still watch The Matrix because it's under Craft Computing and it's under my roof.
But now, could you then theoretically put it on? I'm going to get a little now an interesting area.
Yes.
You're like the corporate Plex server, and then do a joint viewing, but we're all separate.
No, because I think
you didn't think about that one.
I think that one might be a little untreaded territory, and I think it would still be. I could only share it with certain individuals, and I would still have to be under the viewership count because there's a certain number, and I don't remember whether it's 5 or 7 or 10 or what that number is, that it stops being a private viewing and becomes a public viewing. Regardless if it's closed doors, closed corporation, whatever else, I can't have 1,000 employees watching The Matrix if I didn't pay a license for it.
But then theoretically, you could then put it on, say, a corporate Plex server, not necessarily have a watch party, but everyone could be accessing the file at the exact same time.
Where's Legal Eagle when we need him? Actually, Leonard French would probably be the better one on this for copyright law. He's an actual copyright attorney. But yes, like I said, licensure and copyright and everything else, it gets so convoluted so incredibly fast. And I've had to deal with it on both personal and private levels. Or public and private levels, rather.
I mean, but in all, most people in small settings, no big corporation cares. It is really when it's a business, and then they come to you. Half the time, they just give you a cease and desist.
Right.
But when it was the Napster issue, it was, one of the first of its kind, globally a huge issue.
I had to help a church set up a movie night. And buy the licensure for that movie night, and we were doing like a drive-in style, come and bring your family, and we'll watch like A Bug's Life from Pixar or some crap like that. We had to find the right licensure so we could watch Disney films. We had to not only say we will cap our attendance. I think it was we could have up to 50 people watch the film. Since it was outdoors, we had to make sure that no surrounding properties or cars driving by could see the projection. We had to send them pictures of various angles saying, here is the viewing angle that you're able to see this at. And only people within our property are able to see the projection. It was ridiculous.
That is ridiculous, because I remember growing up, I was able to see and get access to, with good, it wasn't great, but the drive-in theater. If I went and climbed on top of this house on a clear day, I could see 80% of the drive-through, and if I had a really good AM radio, I could get like a staticky version of it. So.
Disney licenses have more pluses than Intel's 14 nanometer. Bravo. All right. So yeah, nothing is killing the entertainment industry. No,
they're making money hand over foot.
Right. And we've talked about, piracy was almost dead for the most part for so long. Because we had Netflix and we had Spotify and we had Pandora and we had a couple others where you could watch and listen to just about anything you ever wanted, anytime you wanted, from any device. And then all the execs at all the different companies started saying, well, hey, there's dollars to be had here. Why are we giving Netflix $1 when we could be making, why are we taking $6 from Netflix and letting them earn $1 when we could be making all $7? And
exactly. Let's develop our own streaming platform. We have enough IPs.
Right. To which everyone but Disney found out you don't have enough IPs.
Trick Logic on the Discord is saying, I'm wearing Steve's background from the last show.
Nice. Yeah, you're not wrong.
He's not wrong. It's like that. That's funny. I have to say that.
That's amazing. Yeah. Anyway, I think we've spent enough time on this. But piracy hasn't killed any industry. Movie theaters didn't kill, I don't think. Weirdly enough, the music industry and motion picture industry finds a new way to monetize no matter what the platform is.
Well, yeah, because half of this
Who would have thunk?
Just a quick more second on the subject. Half of this type of stuff is new technology, which creates new technology, which at the beginning may be a hindrance, but then everyone figures out this is good new technology. This is being pushed, and we can learn how to use it properly and then benefit from it. And like you said, there was a period of time when we didn't no longer need piracy because it was like, hey, Netflix, these particular others, Pandora, I'll pay that little bit of money and I'm getting 99% of what I want. Right. I don't now need to worry about my internet provider sending me an email saying, hey, I noticed you download X.
Right.
And then shut me off and fine me.
John, get a VPN. Like, for God's sakes.
If only I had a discount code.
NordVPN/craft computing.
Oh,
it's there.
Is it? Do I say?
I've never done a plug for NordVPN, but I do have a NordVPN landing page.
I thought you did do a plug for one.
I've done NordPass. NordPass is the one that they've kept wanting me to do. But I do have a NordVPN landing page. This isn't a sponsored piece, although it kind of is. They haven't given me any money for this one, but who knows? NordVPN.com/craft computing. I think it's actually live. Nope, 404. Okay, is it /craft? Nope. Okay. They never made it.
We'll have to get you one.
We talked about. I've talked to the Nord people quite a few times. But yeah.
Well, ExpressVPN, you can now come and sweep in and outbid them.
See, a VPN like last VPN. NordPass didn't want to keep advertising on Tech Potato. It's really funny. They so want. I shouldn't probably be talking about this, but NordPass so wants to be on Craft Computing, but what they were asking for is always a little bit difficult to suss out, and there's always a back and forth that happens with them, which means it's costing me money every time I have to sit down and write an email or have Rhett write an email that says, hey, well, how about this instead? Well, we kind of want to like bend all of your different monetizations and get the most airtime for the least amount of money, which is their job. But most people will take the rate card and go, yeah, we want this. And they go, well, can we have like half of this? And then I'd take a number 4 on the side. And like they treat me like Chinese takeout.
I mean, sometimes you like Chinese takeout.
Yeah. But the problem is when you do that and you nickel and dime me, then someone else comes in and goes, yeah, we'll take a number 1. And I go, okay, number 1. There it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sold out for the day. So
I'm full.
They wanted 30 to 45 second integrations and a final integration and verification. Ooh, yeah. No, so pre and post roll are 2 different integrations. You don't get both unless you're willing to pay for both. If you pay for a post roll, I will usually give a 5-second blurb. Today's video is brought to you by blah. Stay tuned at the end of the video for more. Because then I'm disclosing my sponsorship up front if there's any conflict of interest within the video. And so if you buy a post, you get a mention at the front. If you buy a pre-roll, you get the pre-roll, and that's it.
Yeah. Unless you pay for both ends.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Who knew this T-Pain tweet would cause such a big discussion?
Moving right along. Microsoft.
Oh, man.
I have a fun video coming out tomorrow going over the operating systems that Microsoft won't sell you. How's that for a plug?
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
Right? Versions you've never heard of at prices you can't afford. Yeah, it's a fun video. It goes all the way back to Windows XP days, and I kind of walk through some Windows licensure and versions that they only sell corporations and things like that. So it's a fun video.
That'll be fun.
Anyway, Microsoft up to their old tricks. It's as if they forgot that 1998 ever happened. Microsoft is blocking default browser workarounds in Windows 10 and Windows 11. Microsoft has Edge, and they're pretty proud of Edge. Edge is based on Chromium, which is the open source Chrome project, and totally valid.
It's okay. I like it.
It's good. I use it. Here's the deal. I use a MacBook for like mobile stuff, and it's my main laptop. Chrome is my main browser. Edge has supplanted Safari as my secondary browser on my laptop. Edge is that good. Like it's almost perfect. It's almost perfect. It's not quite as good as Chrome, but it has all the same plugins. It has the same functionality. It works great. And so Firefox is still my secondary on desktop, and it's also installed on my laptop, but for some reason I just find myself using Edge more on the M1. Don't know why. But I do use it. I did download it. Like, it didn't come with it. On Windows, Microsoft has been trying harder and harder to make you use Edge. And this is also partly about what my video tomorrow is about, is that if I bought an operating system from Microsoft, and for all intents and purposes, if I have a license for Windows, then I paid for that, or Microsoft got paid in some way, shape, or form, which means the license is still mine through monetary transactions. Windows is not free. Windows has never been free. They've given you free upgrades, but a base license has never been free. So why is it okay? And I'm staring at Apple in this one too, by the way. Why is it okay for them to advertise all of their cloud services exclusively inside their operating system? And part of the problem is stuff like this. Stuff like Microsoft pushing Edge into you, not allowing you to set another default browser, even though that function exists within the operating system, to set Chrome or Firefox or Opera or whatever else as your default browser. Yeah. Now, what I'm talking about is not the default browser. Like if I click on a hyperlink in an email, it'll open up Chrome. That's fine. What I'm talking about is the pages that Microsoft themselves delivers as URLs. So Windows help files or Bing links in your start menu that are pushed to you based on your use habits of your computer, which again, that's another point of contention. But if I click on a news article link, instead of opening my default browser, it'll open Edge. And Microsoft is hoping that when you open Edge, it'll say, hey, Edge is not your default browser. You want to make us your default browser? Hey, we're a great browser.
It's constantly doing that. Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we actually talked about this when Edge first came out.
Yeah.
That they were doing some shady stuff with the Windows 10. And when you first did set the browser, they did that. Are you sure? Come on. Did you give Edge a try? Try Edge.
Right.
And then you had to do like 2 or 3 messages to be like, okay, let me set this as my default. Are you sure? Yes. But have you tried Edge yet? It's really good. Yes, I want to set this. And it was that whole thing. They're still pushing it because, Internet Explorer was such a huge failure. It just chugged at RAM, even though Chrome does the same thing, but it was even worse. Again, similar to you, Edge is my secondary browser. Mm-hmm. It's a great browser, but I'm just used to Chrome. All my plugins and everything are all in Chrome, and it still works fine. And my computer now has enough RAM to work with Chrome. So I'm like, I got it. So I finally upgraded enough.
You finally got 64 gigs of RAM? Well done, John.
I know. So only 32 of them are used from Chrome.
Right.
So
close your tabs, damn it.
Even though Edge would only take 16 gigs, I still use Chrome because this is just, I'm used to it. It's fast. It's snappy enough.
Right.
I like it. But yeah, it is. I've noticed a lot more times every time I do update, a computer has an update at work. I get complaints all the time because Edge gets reset to the default. And anytime a link happens, they're like, why did I click this? Why is it not going up in Chrome?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, it got opened up in Edge. And then I go to their default browser and it's set to Edge again.
Yep.
And it gets annoying.
Yep.
And they're like, I don't need that. Well, I tell them, you know what? Just go get used to this. It's a pretty decent browser. Go ahead. But they're like, most people also sit there and think Chrome is also, you need Chrome for Google Docs.
Yeah.
And so people are like, oh, I need Chrome for Google Docs. No, you don't.
It works on almost anything.
It works almost anything. But still, that's what they think. So they're like, oh, how do I download Chrome?
Sorry, I knew I had a couple super chats and I was going to double back to them. I just read the first one. Freddie sends over $5. NDAs must be tricky when your job is drinking on camera. You're not wrong. Yeah, I usually still keep a pretty good sense about me, even a couple pints in. But yes, now pretty much nothing that I will ever talk about here has ever been NDA'd. I have strictly some topics that I will talk about, some that I will not. As far as ad relationships go, since I don't currently have an active relationship with NordPass, I mean, I still communicate with them, but I don't have anything on the books right now. And I think the last ad I ran for them was all the way back in October. So it's been a couple of months. I don't mind talking about it. There was never an NDA for that. There was never a, you can't tell us how much they paid you or whatever. You know, most ads don't work that way. Most ads don't have NDAs. The only NDAs I've ever had to sign is for early release hardware. And even then, it's like over email. It's like, hey, or actually, some of the companies I even just do over Twitter. Hey, I've got new products. You agree to an NDA? Yeah, sure. Okay, here's the information. Just so they have the boilerplate. Jeff says he won't spill the beans. Yeah, there's far fewer NDAs in this industry than I thought there would be getting into it. Tech Geek sends over $15. Thank you very much, Tech Geek. Ever notice Microsoft has a history of releasing every other OS as a crappy one? 95 good, 90... Yes, this is a long-standing, more of a joke. I have some opinions on some of it. It's not quite as cut and dry as that. I know people like the meme of, you know, 95 good, 98 bad, 98 SE good. Well, 98 SE is 98. It's kind of like Service Pack 2 for 98. So you can't throw that logic in there. Millennium bad. Millennium, I think, was bad on purpose because they were so close to Windows XP coming out. Windows Millennium was supposed to be based on the NT kernel. And they ended up dialing it back because they had so many issues getting backwards compatibility applications to run that they ended up dialing it back down to a DOS shell. So instead of jumping over to NT, it still ran on DOS. That and every single feature that came to Millennium came to Windows 98 SE, with the exception of like Windows Movie Maker and a couple of other, you know, fringe applications. So Millennium, I think, was bad on purpose because they didn't want people getting on Millennium and going the last of the DOS operating systems before Windows XP came out and then not upgrading to XP. And remember, the timeline between Millennium's release and XP's release, I think, is something like 14 months. It was not a long time. It was not a long-lived operating system.
It to me, I remember it coming out, and I almost thought just from the logo and the way they were advertising it early on, as my dad had it, but as a younger person looking at it, the logo was very flashy. It actually kind of looked like it was made in Movie Maker, because it had that stupid round, you know, over.
But this time around, they couldn't afford Jennifer Aniston to do a promo for
it. Yeah, that embossed look. It's like, oh, they're hitting these for like a young kid's Windows or something.
Right.
They basically like tried to make it look cool, and it wasn't cool.
Right.
And I remember that being like,
it didn't even come with a Weezer album. Like, come on.
Yeah.
No one has any idea what we're talking about.
My dad being the programmer was like, oh, we got every new system or operating system update. So it was just at least one computer did. And I was like, this is horrible.
Yeah. I will say, I think Millennium gets a bum rap because it was trying to do some of the crossover stuff to implement new APIs and modernize Windows 98 to the point that it was almost compatible with XP, but it was still relying on DOS. And so there's a lot of things that just are a little bit buggy, and the drivers weren't necessarily compatible between 95, 98 and Windows Millennium. And so there were a lot of devices that didn't work. There were a lot of printers that never got updated. And the same thing happened when XP came out. XP was hot garbage for like 6 to 12 months because nothing worked. Like, you think Millennium had problems? XP had problems. And you know, hindsight is 2020, but also nostalgia puts a certain, you know, tilt on things. And everyone loved XP as of Service Pack 2.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. As soon as you got Service Pack 2, you was like, this thing is awesome. And it was a tank of an operating system.
Yeah. But I think Millennium was intentionally hampered ever so slightly. But I also think that Windows Millennium is actually better than 98 SE. Can I say that? Can I say that on live camera?
Well, yeah. That's your opinion, Jeff.
That's my opinion. But here's the difference. I lived through it.
Yeah.
Like, I was there. Those were my college days, dang it. Like,
yeah. You're Han Solo in The Force Awakening. I was there. Yeah. Believe me.
It's true. All of it.
It's true. All of it.
I was there, Gandalf, 800 years ago.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like sometimes. And then Freddie has another $5. Thank you very much, Freddie. Do appreciate it. I'm working to get big data out of my life. Opera browser, Nextcloud hosted on Unraid, backed up to Backblaze, and IMAP from my web host. It's been rough. Yeah, getting big data out of your life is nigh on impossible these days.
Well, everyone's sitting there. Hey, can I send notifications? Hey, can I gather your data? Hey, can I do this to you? Hey, can I follow, track you?
Yeah.
Heck, if you even want to walk into Walmart, they're like, hey, you want to use our Wi-Fi? Let us track everything you browse. Starbucks, everyone, if they're giving you something for free, is basically wanting something from you, and they're going to be tracking you, and that's what they want. Yeah. Big data, even certain little data, and you're paying out the butt. You're gonna become a pirate real soon.
Yep. If you ever want to know what your data is worth to some companies, look at the products they sell and see if there's an ad-free version of said product, because there's bean counters going, well, we're going to make X amount on this person through the lifespan of this product, and we need to get 2x that out of them if we sell the product up front with no ad delivery. So look at like the Amazon Fire tablets. They sell them to you, number one, at a loss, which is why no other tablet exists except the Amazon tablets up to $200. That and the knockoff Shenzhen ones, which are always garbage. I never buy one. But Amazon will sell you a Fire tablet for $50. $50. But it comes with ad delivery baked into the operating system. You have to watch ads to launch applications or read books or listen to music, or like they have their own ad content delivery outside of other ad content delivery. But you get a tablet for $50. And for some people, that's fine. You can get an ad-free one for $70, which means Amazon values your personal data at $20 per user over 2 years, because that's the expected lifespan of a tablet. So if you have an Amazon account and they deliver ads to you, they consider that they'll be making about $10 in advertisement from you using their service. Period.
Yep. Which, so then just go spend that extra money if you're one ad-free experience. But still, I will bet even then, they're still tracking you. Because they still track you if you're going to their store, what you're browsing in their store. They still, or books or anything like that through their browser. They're still technically tracking that data because you have to use your sign-in account. Mm-hmm. So they're just not giving you ads. But then they'll still pump you and direct you via, say, the Amazon website saying, hey, people who bought this also buy this. I noticed you bought this.
Yeah.
Well, here's this. And that's a service, though, because you're using their service to buy things from them that they then get the right to.
Don't you just love it when you randomly type in a Google search? So we're not even like in the same advertising platform. Let's talk Amazon versus Google. I'll search for like cushioned toilet seat or something. I need to buy one.
Bidet.
Yeah. Where can I get one? Does Home Depot have it in stock? How about Lowe's? How about Walmart? How about, whatever else?
Yeah.
Cushioned toilet seat. Salem. And I'll see who has it in stock. I will then get Amazon ads. And if I go to the Amazon webpage, all of a sudden recommended for my viewing pleasure is 30 different cushioned toilet seats. And I get cushioned toilet seat advertisements for the next 6 months.
Yep.
I only needed one. Like, what do you think my house looks like? Like, did I reupholster my sofa with this crap?
Well, I know. I did like a tweet like a couple months back. It's like I bought vacuum filter.
Yeah.
I got vacuum filters for the next like 3 or 4 months. Like, no, I only needed one.
Mm-hmm.
It lasts like 2 years. I only need one, Amazon. Thank you very much.
Yep. And as Ian points out, Vizio now makes more money selling ads on its TVs than it does selling the TVs themselves. Yes,
Yeah.
That is totally a thing. And they don't offer ad-free hardware. If you buy a Vizio TV, guess what? You get ads.
If you go through their streaming services.
Right.
Yeah. I have 3 Vizio. Well, no, you're right. Because you're right. Anytime there's a blank screen,
yeah,
goes to an ad.
Ian also says, I posted a picture of kombucha on Twitter, and now my smartphone throws up notifications from our kombucha on Reddit. And we've all done that. We've had private conversations outside on our porch with a neighbor going, yeah, hey, I've been looking at a leaf blower. Like I've been thinking about upgrading. Like, what model do you have and whatnot? Never typed a thing into anything. And I go sit down on my computer the next day and I've got ads for leaf blowers on the sidebar.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, Pete, I think we had this conversation before. And
yeah,
it was
we
like
have.
Someone in the comments said, no, it doesn't. And this was like after the video aired or something. And there was like a whole thread of comments. No, that doesn't happen. It rarely ever happens. You're talking was like, no. How come on our channel, anytime we talk about this, everyone on chat will sit there and say, I know someone that happened to.
Yep.
This happened to me. This
Yep.
happened to me. It's like, it's not as much as you think. And in the broad scope of things, we're talking billions of people. And even if it happens to tens of millions, that's still a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, well, it's only 10%. That's still a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because they do it just enough to get away with it.
Yep. That's exactly right.
It's not quite an annoyance. You're like, oh, this kind of happened. It's a fluke. But they do it just enough because they know that pressure point. They've been doing it just enough. Like, it's an annoyance. If we did it just, 2 more ads.
And that's actually part of my Windows video that I'm doing is Microsoft is doing this just enough because they know you're not going to jump ship to Linux or Mac OS.
Yeah.
And I also counterpoint before I get any comments that for the people that are going to comment down below that say, well, I switched to Linux 2 decades ago and I never looked back. You were the 1% then and you're the 1% now.
Yep.
99% of people are on Windows and won't leave Windows.
Go set up your grandma on Linux. See what happens.
Yeah. Yep.
Go give your mom or parents a Linux computer. I guarantee you will be over there every day.
Yep. All right. We got to move on. So, late breaking news. As of like 4 o'clock this afternoon, Intel has announced that they are selling their SSD business over to SK Hynix. And SK Hynix is going to create a new subsidiary called Solidigm. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Solidigm. A new paradigm for storage.
They got that. They almost have the classic 90s S.
It's really close, right? Yeah. It's like, I could have drawn that logo in middle school.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, the reported deal is worth around $9 billion, and Solidigm will take on all of Intel's current SSD assets. That is NAND Solidigm? Ian, I think you're just effing with me. I'm going to call him Solidigm, damn it. Solidigm. Anyway, so SK Hynix will be acquiring Intel's NAND flash division, which is their consumer and enterprise SSD division. They do the SATA and NVMe based storage drives. And all of their current products are going to be essentially rebranded and sold under the Solidigm name. So that is the Intel 660p, the 670p, as well as their D3, D5, and D7 data center SSDs, both in SATA, SAS, and NVMe. So look for that in the very near future. What they are not selling as part of this is their Optane and 3D based SSDs. What is the 3D X-Point SSDs. So Intel will continue to own the Optane DIMM and Optane SSD lineup. So all of their flash accelerators and Optane based memory, that will all remain in-house. Everything else is going on over to SK Hynix. As long as the deal is approved and blah, 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 blah. Like, this one's probably going through, though.
Yeah. Don't see a problem with this. I've never even heard of this company. Don't really know a whole lot. Yeah. I guess the question, my really only concern, which I don't really have that big of a concern, but would be just, I'm betting there's probably going to be an annoyance. So if you own an SSD right now, an Intel SSD, and something goes wrong with it, you might have a little bit longer waiting period because when this initially does go through. Right now, you're probably still fine because you're going to be dealing with Intel.
Yep.
There's probably like a 6-month period. There might be maybe an extra 60-day delay or a 30-day delay of just, because they got to transfer all the files. Who are you calling? There might be some confusion. Other than that, I probably don't really see a big deal of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this news was talked about quite some time ago. I do remember that. I know I can't remember if I've publicly talked about this or if it's just been like I've talked to people that I know about. Yeah, Intel is looking at spinning off their SSD division. But I feel like there was an announcement before. All right. Speaking of bad ideas.
Oh, wait. Before we go bad ideas.
Yes.
Don't we have a sponsor today?
Oh, we do. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I would like to get paid for tonight's show.
Yes, I figured this is around the time we do sponsorships.
That's right. Today's episode of Talking Heads is brought to you by none other than Linode. If you've ever needed to host your own servers, whether it be for home or business, but don't have the resources or time to invest into hardware, power, cooling, or even space, why not let Linode host them for you? If it runs on Linux, it'll run on Linode. That includes most of the software from tutorials on this channel, like how to run your own ad-blocking recursive DNS server, VPN gateway, your own cloud-based Plex server, not hosting any licensed content of any kind, I'm sure, and more. With shared CPU plans starting at as little as $5 per month and scaling up to as high as you need to go, you'll be able to find a hosting plan that fits your needs. Even if you do host your own servers, you can use Linode to keep a backup off-site. Because remember, RAID is not a backup. Linode also recently announced they are the first alternative cloud provider to have NVMe block storage available to all customers. In September, they began rolling out NVMe drives to all 11 of their global data centers. Best of all, storage rates will remain at the same low price they always have been. Visit linode.com/craftcomputing and get a $100 60-day credit just for signing up for a new account. That's linode.com/craftcomputing, and thank you again to Linode for paying for John's beer.
Thank you, Linode. I'll tell you what beer I want next week, Linode. You just ship it over. It's cool. Speaking of beer, Jeff, how is your beer?
Phenomenal.
I have enjoyed this parabola very much.
Oh my gosh.
Now, what's funny about yours, and now I know we didn't talk a little bit about, yours is black.
It is. This is a Belgian quad, by the way.
Yes.
You'll notice you can't see through it.
No, and that's the good barrel-aged Belgian quad.
Yes. So this has all of that malty, rich, spicy characteristics that I'd expect out of a Belgian quad. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit thicker, ever so slightly syrupy, ever so slightly. Like I even hate to use that analogy, but it's more syrupy than it is not when you think about a Belgian quad.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I don't want to undersell this beer.
Well, a Belgian quad has a good one can have a decent body.
Right. This one's thick. This one's cut it with a knife thick. And man, is it ever good.
Oh yeah. No, I love one of the reasons why I love Parabola so much is that it's one of those stouts that you don't need to age, really. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of big, barrel aged, especially even like the bourbon counties.
Yeah.
Oh, this tastes fresh. It needs another year.
Yeah.
You kind of almost want to buy this year's, but open last year's.
Yes.
It is perfectly fine to open up a fresh Parabola. It's got this bourbon, and you know what I think it is? I think it's the rye and the whiskey.
Yeah.
Kind of give it this cut, and it just this great chocolatey note, bourbon, and like you said, not I wouldn't call this syrupy, but it's got good body.
Right. It's really thick. It doesn't want to separate. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And no, I think the balance that they've struck between making it an uber dark chocolate and roasty beer, combined with the amount of rye and bourbon that they get out of the barrel aging process, whatever their process is, they freaking nailed it. Because, I mean, these bottles were bottled in September, August, maybe. Like, they were bottled and then shipped to Costco, and then we bought them and we're drinking them now within the last quarter.
Exactly. Yeah, totally, for sure.
And they're fantastic right out of the gate because of that balance, because that rye sharpness and spiciness and a little bit of burn mixes perfectly with that super thick dark chocolate, the coffee roast, the everything else that goes into it. It's why it's one of my favorite beverages. Now, aging it still gets better.
Oh yeah, aging is a great thing. And again, another reason why we like it, it's only $12 for this bottle, and it's a 13% stout, and you're like, it's quality. You can have it fresh. There are plenty of those that we're talking about that it's just, it's a good beer, but you really need to age it. And it was $20 for the bottle.
Yeah.
Like, I can't have this fresh.
I have a lot of those bottles. Like you said, the bourbon counties. I've got a number of bourbon counties. I have a 2017 still in my fridge. But drinking them fresh, they always taste a little young. I'll say this about like Sierra Nevada Bigfoots, and I'll say this about Narwhal. Is that the year that they're produced, they always taste a little underdeveloped, a little bit harsh still. They need a year in 60-degree atmosphere to mellow out. Not the case with Firestone.
No, Pirate sounds good. Yeah, I think Novella was the only one that drank this Pirate Stout, but he said he loved it. Mm-hmm. He had a couple of mine, and then it was.
He didn't even get the good one. That was just a straight Pirate Stout.
That was just honestly, I like that one because it's year-round available. Yeah. So I think that in general makes it better.
A rum barrel aged 10% stout that is available on every shelf in the greater Willamette Valley. Yes.
No, you can't. And great coconut flavor.
Yeah.
But on a sadder note, let's talk about something more sad.
Yeah. Speaking of bad ideas, you have a kid. I have 3 of them. You ever do random challenges with your kid, like Lego build-offs, or who can build like the coolest Hot Wheels track, or who can do this, or who can do that?
I
do this kind of
as a young time. Let's build a high tower.
Right? Yeah. Who can build the tallest tower? Or what's the current challenge that kids are doing these days? Anyway,
feats of strength is what my son loves doing. Feats of strength. So he's always like, I got muscles and I'm gonna lift it. This is heavy. Hey, I got him to lift a bag of groceries. It's like, good. Now take it.
Now you can carry it inside.
Yeah.
You just signed up for your own indentured servitude. Is what you did. Bad move, kid. Anyway, well, I've also mentioned on this show numerous times, I don't have Alexa, Amazon, Siri. I don't have anything active in my house. I don't have any devices. I don't have Google Assistant active on my phone because I don't want that microphone and that presence and that unknown-ish thing about AI answering questions or keeping track of what I'm asking it. Like, I'm fine if I type something into Google. I don't necessarily want it listening to a conversation I'm having in the living room with my 9-year-old daughter. there's lines
all
that I
of a
want
sudden
to draw.
It starts talking.
Right. And it's been shown that it listens all the time, and it records any activation that it thinks it hears, and then it goes, oh, that wasn't an activation, but I'm going to keep listening just in case. Like, we know the devices do this. And I know I'm a little tinfoil hatty there, but...
No, it does. No, you're not. That's not even close to anyone that seeks the opposite is actually more tinfoily hatty.
Yes. Anyway, so a woman and her 10-year-old daughter were doing challenges. They were challenging each other to do different things. And let's see. We were doing some physical challenges, like laying down and rolling over, holding a shoe on your foot, from a PE teacher that we were watching on YouTube. It was bad weather outside, and she wanted another challenge to do. That is her 10-year-old daughter. And so they said, hey, black box.
Let's not spawn off everyone's Alexas.
Hey, black box, what's a challenge that you have for us right now? And Alexa went on to tell them that they should plug a phone charger about halfway into the wall outlet, then touch a penny to the exposed prongs.
Yeah, I hope that's talking about its own charger so it blows up.
Yeah. So apparently this is a thing called the penny challenge, and it's probably originated on 4chan or some other site along those same lines.
Yeah.
That
it's right up there with the pod challenge.
That Amazon's AI had searched the web for challenge, and this was the result it decided to give. And it had, hey, I found this on the web. Plug in a phone charger about halfway into the wall outlet, then touch a penny to the exposed prongs. To which the mother said, no, Alexa, stop. And I guess the daughter was, quote unquote, smart enough to not do that. But the problem remains that Alexa told this 10-year-old girl to put a penny in a light socket.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't the first time something weird, odd like this has happened from Alexa. I mean, and again, too, it's going off of the top Google searches. Now, like you said, it's okay to just type in a Google search because what happens? Oh, I get 10, 20 of them. We as adults are smart enough. Okay, let me read the headline. Let me read the little blurb. Okay, hang on. What website is it? This is an ad. Hang on. Skip. Let's go down. Whether you had an ad block or not, but the average person doesn't.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at. But we're smart enough to read it, and it doesn't get suggested, and it be the only thing it suggests.
Yeah.
That's what Alexa does. It just takes the top search result.
Yeah.
And if something's trending, whether it's good or bad, it for similar to, like I said, the stupid Tide Pod challenge, which was 4 years ago. People are like, well, let's take Tide Pods and shove them in our mouths. That
Boy,
could have
COVID
been
has
Alexa.
made that feel like such a long time ago.
Oh, I know. Oh, God. But again, there was.
Remember when that's the least of our problems?
Yeah, well, I remember.
Or rather, that was the most of our problems.
I mean, I remember the last challenge I did that was was like the.
Well, some future Darwin Award winners were offing themselves early by eating Tide Pods.
Yeah. Well, there was now there was the cinnamon challenge, and everyone thought that's stupid.
Yeah.
But it's Alexa at the time would have been like, do that because it's the most popular search. But also I kind of also have an issue with this because this can be caused by like the TikToks, YouTubes, and Twitter of post Instagram like, hey, what's the next challenge because I want views. And so you can go to hey, what's the latest one to get me views? That's the challenge I got to go and film.
Right.
And this mom was just like, no, what's a challenge? And now you're having to be very, very specific.
Yeah.
With Alexa. And that's the problem with AI and all computer programs in general. Your search has to be narrowed down when you have an abundance amount of data. I can give you the top 20, but when you're looking for the word elephant, it can be a lot of things. But if you say, pink elephant that was in Dumbo.
Yeah.
Oh, you narrowed down the search.
Right. And that's actually a common problem with search engines. Search engines. Apparently Sean Connery's making a surprise appearance on the show tonight. Search engines. That's actually a common problem with search engines, is you have to both narrow down and exclude data that you do not want. And it's one of the reasons I'm successful at eBay searches for obscure things, is if I'm looking for an NVIDIA Tesla M40, I don't search NVIDIA Tesla M40. I assume that NVIDIA is going to be in the title already, therefore I don't need to include it in my search parameters. All I need to search for is Tesla M40. And now I'm not going to get inundated with thousands of other NVIDIA cards because they had the right keywords in or put Quadro or whatever in, and that they went, oh, people who search for NVIDIA also search for Quadro, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm looking for specific components. And so it's knowing how to phrase your search query. And also eliminating things that you know are going to pop up anyway. So sometimes when I'm searching for NVIDIA Tesla, I will add exclusions for Model S and Model X because I don't need car parts mixed up with my...
Yes, exactly. Your new Tesla battery interior,
Right.
Here's a knockoff
Tesla fan shroud. Tesla. Oh, crap. Right.
Get your new Tesla exhaust. It's like, oh, wait, what?
This isn't Rich Rebuilds.
But yeah, no, well, that's also it's kind of funny is programmers and people in the tech industry of like, it's kind of a big joke. Do we know a whole lot? Do we have all these degrees? No, we know how to Google. Mm-hmm. We know how to search. We don't know the answer that's in our head, but we know how to find the answer. We know how to navigate. We are technically pirates of the interweb seas. We are the navigators. We are the original.
You're scary close to the hacker manifesto.
I know, right?
We are the digital cowboys. They are the cattle. Moo.
Yeah, my Google foo is really strong.
Yes. Google foo is an actual marketable skill.
It is. No, it is.
Being able to find what you're looking for. And
knowing that that's not a virus or a crappy website is like...
Think if this was 1982 and you say you memorize the Dewey Decimal System. You can work at any library you ever want to if you know it like the back of your hand. And you know how that library organized their blah, blah, blah. Saying I know how to Google actually carries more weight than you might think.
It does. I mean, you can say that and nothing else. You'll probably get an entry level like IT job. Like boom, right away. I mean, it's entry level, but you'll get the job. Yeah, and Novella. Yes, he could see me doing the drink of milk joke challenge. Oh, I did. I am done with my beer, Jeff.
Strangely enough, so am I.
All right.
Before we get into conspiracy theory territory, let's go ahead and what do you got for your next one?
We're gonna need this for the the next one. I am gonna go with this was given to me. War Elephant Double IPA.
I've had that one.
Yeah,
I have.
Oh, nice. Oh, maybe you did. Maybe you gave me this.
I don't think I did.
No,
I don't think I gave that. But I've had War Elephant before. I've had War Elephant. I've had War Tortoise.
Yeah, I've had War Tortoise. Yeah. That's from Lewitt.
Yeah.
So, but this is a double IPA, 8.6%. You know what? My glass. I don't like mixing stuff, so I'm gonna go with a new glass. And it was funny, Jeff. You might have this glass.
I do. I have one of those. It's upstairs still. I haven't brought it downstairs yet. So for those who don't know, I had an interesting week. It almost never snows in the Willamette Valley. We get snow about once every 5, 6, 7 years. Usually when we do, it's a fair amount. We'll get upwards of 8 to 12 inches. But 4 out of every 5 years, it's 33 degrees and raining or 25 and sunny. That's winter in the Willamette Valley, or it's just raining.
We might get like one day of like 2 inches.
Where we get dusted or something like that. But it's also a high of 40, and so it blows off by 11 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't get a lot of snow. Well, we got a decent amount of snow. I got 6 inches Christmas night here at my house, and then about 3 more inches or so in the next day or so. And then it's been snowing every night since then. Now today it warmed up considerably, and there's only snow like left in in grassy areas and on bushes and things like that. The roads are completely clear and dry and everything else.
Yep.
But I did have a casualty, and that is the fiber cable that runs from here in my office to over in my server rack. Now, I knew when I ran this cable outside that it was not the right way to do it. Now, I didn't know how long the run was going to be, because I bought the house and I need to get a fiber cable from here to there. I don't remember how long that wall is. I don't remember what the exact run is. And I've got to go like up 15 feet. Because remember, I'm in a daylight basement. I'm 5 feet underground. Yeah. My garage is 2 levels above me. Like it's stair-stepped almost a full story above me. And I've also got to go up to the gutter line and then back down. So what is that? Like, I don't know how long I need. So I bought a 50-meter cable. And I didn't want to invest in an armored cable because it's like $45 for a 50-meter OM4 versus $300 for an armored 50-meter OM4. It's like, I don't want to buy way too much cable and not be able to splice it, because, by the way, you can't splice your own fiber.
Well, like you said, like, this will last 10 years. That's
right.
Fine.
And so I went, I'm gonna run an indoor cable outside, and I know it won't last 10 years, but it should last 4 or 5, no problem. Even UV exposure, it's mostly under my eaves, and it's in the backyard and whatnot. It's not exposed to sun all that much. I wasn't worried about it, and I figured by the time I need to replace it, I'll be doing something else anyway. Well, apparently that cable really doesn't like to be frozen. Because that cable no longer works. So, yeah, I had internet here on Sunday. I didn't have internet as of Monday. And, of course, because of the post-holiday rush, Amazon and everywhere else that I looked couldn't get me an actual armored OM4 LC to LC cable any earlier than like January 4th or something like that. I finally found one, and it'll hopefully be here Friday. But it's kind of put a hamper on filming things, because the guy who does home lab almost exclusively and like cloud gaming and all, I can't even access my servers from here right now. As it is tonight, I put a Wi-Fi card into my desktop, so I went from 10 gig and sub 1 millisecond latency to 90 meg and 77 millisecond latency.
Now you're on my playing field.
Right.
Yes.
What is this, the Middle Ages? So, what type of armored cable are you buying? My 50 meter was $70. It's an OM4. It's a multi-mode OM4. When I looked 2 years ago, it was like upwards of $300 for that cable. They've significantly dropped in price since then. I think I paid $45 for the cable that's arriving. So a little over $1 a foot, or a little under $1 a foot rather, for the new cable. But, yeah, it's been an interesting week trying to get some stuff done, with only sub 100 meg internet.
Yeah.
Or
what do
Ethernet,
what do you got?
rather. Like, local access to my servers is like, yeah.
Well, what are you drinking now?
I am opening a Full Sail double IPA Wreck the Halls.
Ooh, right. Good time.
Yep.
Good beer.
I did drink this one at the beginning of the month in a Talking Heads video. It's the last of the 4-pack, and I figured it's still December. It's time to send December off right. January is stout season, so.
Oh, God, the year's already over. This is the New Year show, isn't it?
It is. Next show is 2022.
I know. Is our after show going to be like Bite My Bits?
Hopefully not. Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be in 2 days.
Oh.
3 days. Oh,
Alexa, remind me.
Yeah. Get all of my money. I'm just gonna send it to shot. 20 minutes shot. 20 minutes shot.
Not Tech Support says you can't splice your own fiber. Next time on Craft Computing. Actually, I've considered doing a YouTube short on that because everyone always wants to know, well, I don't want to run Ethernet because I have to go like 400 meters or something like that, but can I splice my own fiber line? The answer is no. And I've thought about doing it kind of like an Animaniacs good idea, bad idea, where you go, good idea, splicing your own Ethernet and showing like the quick steps to, separate the 8 cables and maintain the twist and put on the cap and crib it and plug it in and then the lights come on. Bad idea, splicing your own fiber and showing the build out of tools that you have to buy to weld your own fiber cables. Because a starter kit will run you about $1,000. A good starter kit will run you about $4,000. Whereas you can buy like a Cat 5 termination kit for like $17.
Yeah, it's cheap.
So, yeah, the long and short answer is you can't terminate your own fiber. Unless you happen to work for a fiber termination company. Yeah, just best idea, knowing a fiber tech with the tools. Exactly. Even all the friends that I have in the industry, I don't have like a personal relationship with any fiber people. Like, I still have to pay to get fiber terminated. You can splice your own fiber, you just need the proper tools. And again, like, for a professional set of tools, you're into it between like 20 and 40K. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those, technically you can. For the money, no. Mm-hmm. Most people don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
Can you build your own graphics card? Sure. If you had $1 billion, you could.
$1 billion and a RISC-V architecture or architect. Yeah.
You could build your own.
Totally. We'll FPGA the crap out of this. It's not going to work worth a damn, but you could do it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out a way to go to 5G and I just can't figure it out.
Yeah, and someone says, yeah, even Ethernet cable testers, the cheapest you can buy, only do 10100. Yeah, if you want to certify a gigabit line, that device is like $1,400 or $1,500 for doing Cat 5 and Cat 6 certifications.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to whatever this story is.
Yeah, whatever this is. So the weird, the odd. This has been going around for a long time.
See, I thought the 5G was supposed to be the thing that made them infertile.
So everyone knows, and this has been going on before 5G, but 5G, if we all know, we've always heard it. We've even talked about it before for like about a year. Mm-hmm. All those little antennas in the city, or in the city on top of the building that stream this 5G, they're gonna give you cancer. They're going to make you infertile. They're going to do something to you. You know, computers give you cancer. Drinking water gives you cancer. All of this stuff. There are a lot of whacks out there and some really weird stories, some wacky stories, some far-fetched stuff. You know,
I was personally upset when Linus reviewed the Faraday cage for the Wi-Fi routers because I was so gonna order one of those for $80. Sorry, no, I was going to order the paper organizer that the product was being rebadged from for like $6 and say I bought the $80
yes,
or $200 or $300 Faraday cage to kill the 5G radiation coming out of your router.
Yeah, and
which means signal.
Yeah, which is dumb too, because then there are people that market to this. It's been going on for ages. It's snake oil. Mm-hmm. It's just snake oil all over again. It's been going on since, the beginning of time. Essentially, drink this elixir. What was the Simpsons grandpa's elixir or whatever? type of a thing. You drink this thing and it'll give you an extra step in the bed or whatever.
Yeah.
But now there is the whole anti-5G, and there was a company that was selling an anti-5G necklace. Well, the people that bought it may not want to put it on, because apparently it's been found out that this anti-5G necklace is actually radioactive and has a significant amount of radiation in it. And it's not just this necklace, it's actually a lot of other products too.
Yes.
That have oh my gosh.
Yeah, the caption says it all. Necklaces and accessories claiming to protect people from 5G mobile networks have been found to be radioactive.
When I first saw this, I honestly thought this was like a Babylon Bee type thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way this has got to be a joke. Nope. This is real.
Huh.
I don't get it, but these
John, we just lost your camera feed. I can still hear you.
Oh, that is.
Did your battery die?
Happened? You know what? It's on charger and it said it was fully charged.
Yeah, John. John.
Hey, you know what? Maybe let me just swap batteries really fast. You can talk more conspiracy theory.
All right. Yeah, just what I need on this channel. More conspiracy theories. World Health Organization says 5G mobile networks are safe and not fundamentally different from existing 3G and 4G signals. Yeah. Yeah, cell phones have been causing cancer for like 40 years, except they haven't been. So, although if you want to go back to like the Spanish flu days when they were protesting radio and AM towers that were going up and saying that those were causing the Spanish flu. You know. Apparently we haven't learned over the course of... Hey, John, you're back. Hey.
Hey, you know what? Should probably start charging my other battery.
And now you are incredibly quiet. Nope. Yeah, Ian says he's more likely to get cancer flying 200,000 miles per year. Yes, you are, because you're higher up. You're more exposed than those of us further down. Rip John, 5G was the end of him.
Sorry, did you say something?
You're very quiet all of a sudden.
Oh, I bumped my volume.
Okay, there you go. All right. Is 5G a hoax? Find out more at 11. You know, in the after party. All right.
So, yeah. Funny.
We do have some beer news for tonight.
We do. It's actually, this next one, I want it. I'd take it. Oh, kind of. But I can actually become... I'm already a lord, as you know, and everyone else in the community knows. I am officially Lord Hops and Brews. I have the piece of paper to certify this.
Lord Hops, his bunny ship.
But I could apply and possibly be a king of a lord of an island, a king of an island, and run my own pub on top of that.
That sounds like a win-win.
With its own castle.
Right.
And I sit upon a throne and I get beer droused upon me. And this is a actual thing. There is now a job positioning open in the the Peel Island Island. Island. It's a little island just south of England. And there is a small castle and a pub on it. That's it. And the requirement is you have to live there, though.
Yeah.
All the time. You can't leave. But you will be technically a king or queen. They don't care.
Yep.
But then you manage the pub that's on there. And for about 4 months out of the year, tourist boats go in and out, and they're on that. But during the other 8 months, you're on that island alone. There's no Wi-Fi. The electricity goes in and out, and apparently the weather is quite harsh sometimes during the winter.
You know, because I can easily see the other landmass, like, it's not that far.
It's not that far. It's not that
you
far.
You could air fiber that crap. I could get gig from shoreline.
Maybe, yeah. So it really is not that far. What is it? I think they said it was only like a 30-minute ferry ride, which ferries go obviously, extremely 20-minute.
Yeah.
So really slow. So you could easily, rowboat it. But yeah, the guy who currently now is the king, the lord, I forget what his name is retiring. He is 79 years old and looking for a replacement. So between now, 73, sorry, Lord Murphy. If you are in England or anywhere, they don't care. You can apply for this. I believe applications are going till like January 13th.
Yeah.
So if you're willing.
Now, there's some interesting quotes within this article.
I did try to find an interesting article of it because most of them were very just, hey, become a lord of an island.
Right. This one actually goes into a little bit of the history and speaks with the previous tenant of the island, John Murphy, who has been leading the walks on the island for nearly 40 years, and says whoever will get the job needs to be, quote, massively dedicated. You can't just nip across to Tesco for a loaf of bread when you're on the Peel Island, he said. You'll need to have dedication and a strong passion for isolation and peace and quiet. It takes a special personality. My question is, why in the bloody hell can't I take a ferry over to Tesco to get a loaf of bread and then come back? It's not like someone's going to rob the island while I'm gone.
They might.
I wouldn't think.
Could be pirates.
Yeah.
Well, also, he might be talking like, say, during tourist season, though.
Right.
So for those 4 months of tourist season, it might be like you have to stay there in case a ferry or someone's on that ferry.
And that makes sense, now.
But then that's just, okay, get 4 months of supplies. After that, I can go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
1 or 2 days a week. I go back and forth, and then to me it was like, dude, I would love exclusion and
right.
and seeing the waves crash. And I got technically there's a pub, some modern convenience, or my castle that's there. There's a map you can see. It's really not far. Like you said, you saw the picture. There's a ruin there, but then there's what appears to be a modern pub and appears to be a little manor.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little lake or pond, so maybe do some fishing, or you can do some fishing off the beach, the coast. Why not? There's a lot of cool things you could do this. I was honestly thinking Technics could just move his whole operation over there.
Tech Potato says it might be that if there's not a permanent presence on the island, it automatically cedes to Ireland. That could totally be the case.
Then Tech Potato, yes. Ooh. So I think it would be a great YouTube channel. It's like a host for a YouTube channel should totally go there.
Right. Many people go to the island for birthday parties or for a few drinks before camping overnight. Quote, even if you're pissed out of your head, the views from the Peel are pretty amazing, says John Murphy.
Again, it's appealing. I'd take it.
Yep.
So, yeah. There is that. Some other news. Now, this is actually kind of, I doubt many viewers will even remember this. This goes back to us being at your old house downstairs.
Yes. Oh, wow.
And the link
That's right.
I just did is broken.
I fixed the link, so I have it on screen here.
Okay, perfect. That's perfect. But Green Flash Brewing, we talked about it, of them going out of business.
Yeah.
And they sold their warehouses. They sold everything. Well, it looks like Green Flash is actually coming back and was purchased by SweetWater Brewing Company. And if you were a fan of Green Flash Brewing, they are going to be making a comeback. I remember them. They were, again, okay. Couple of okay beers and nothing special. But yeah, it was kind of interesting to see something like this because a beer that we once talked about that we got a lot in the Pacific Northwest. It's a California-based brewery. It is coming back, very similar to, I think how, oh gosh, I forgot what that brewery was called. Anyways, there was another California brewery that got bought by, I think it was like Corona, and they got sold to a really small brewery.
Yeah. I do remember Green Flash.
But yeah, Green Flash, they were just, I don't know, okay, but we did talk about them.
They were part of the American Brewers Association, which was headed up by Ninkasi and a couple other Oregon breweries. I do remember talking about them going under.
Yeah, so they're going under, but then apparently Stillwater Brewing picked them up. So we might be seeing them be resurrected. They were widely distributed in the Northwest. Mm-hmm. So if you were a person in the Northwest and you did like Green Flash beer, I know a couple people when I owned the bar, they were still a very popular brewery to go to and to have their beers. You know, maybe your new favorite beer might be coming back if you were a Green Flash fan. And one thing we didn't get to talk to about it last week, I really wanted to talk to, at least throw this in there, but we just didn't get to it. Everyone during the Christmas time always gets to have that gingerbread house. Well, I think something Miller Highlife. This is not something you actually praise them for, but I like this. I really, really like this. Miller Highlife is selling, they might be sold out by now, but Gingerbread Dive Bar kit with beer infused gingerbread.
Right.
That is the gingerbread house I would stay up and make.
You know, I am honestly not a domestic fan in any way, shape, or form. I've never been impressed by one. I probably never will be. But you got to give credit where credit is due, and
exactly.
Bravo.
And honestly, out of probably all of the domestics, I think Miller High Life would probably be toward my top.
Yeah.
If I was like tied to a chair, which I wouldn't need to be tied, but to like you have to drink a domestic.
Well, you paid
for the
extra
rest
for
of your
that,
life.
so you might as well.
You know, I do prefer it over Budweiser or Coors, all of those other ones. I would probably take a High Life. So
I'll take a Sam Adams, and that's about as close as I'm getting.
No, they're not. They're still technically craft.
They're still technically craft.
I mean, technically,
but that's as close as I'm
domestic.
getting.
I'd go like Elysian or 10 Barrel.
Well, yeah.
You know,
I mean,
or Goose Island.
I mean,
I'll go Bourbon County all day long.
Oh yeah, but no, I go 10 barrel pub beer. Like I'll drink
pub
that.
Beer's perfect. Yeah,
right.
Perfectly great.
4.5% lager. Like
I did that video of like the worst craft beer versus the best domestic, and I think it was like the pub beer, and then they like tweeted back thanks with a question mark.
I remember that. Yeah, 10 barrel pub beer, better than all this other shit. And they went, thanks?
Thanks?
Scott sends over $9.99. Thank you very much, Scott. Longtime viewer of the show. Happy final stream of the year, gentlemen. May 2022 be just as successful with less Rona than 2021. We can certainly hope.
I can hope.
Let's just say I have some pretty massive plans for 2022. Lots of changes, all of them for the better. And I can't wait to get started. Like, I am so amped for this next year. I can't even explain how amped I am.
Yeah, from the plans you're telling me, it's going to be great.
Yes.
So,
have you seen the plans?
I've only heard of some plans.
Okay, I need to like show you the plans because.
Oh, I've seen structural plans.
Okay, yeah, you've seen. Okay, yeah.
I've seen that.
You see structural plans. You haven't. I know you're aware of certain personnel plans.
Yes, and there was that too.
Yeah,
there was that too. Yeah. So,
lots of good things coming. Like
lots of fun, good things coming. Hopefully, even more fun.
I'm like that
content.
I'm like that girl in the yellow rain jacket with the cotton candy going. Like, I'm that.
Now I don't know if that'll be the thumbnail.
Right.
Although, you know what? I do hope, again, we have to talk about one last thing. You don't probably know, or it's not in the notes, but you have hit a milestone today.
I did.
And it's a fitting milestone for the last of the year that I think, as far as not you, but as the spokesperson of the other co-host, congratulations.
Thank you. For those who don't know, I can now officially say I have 250,000 subscribers.
Yes.
I went full-time legitimately 2 days shy of 18 months ago. And I have doubled my sub count since then. When I went full-time, the day I went full-time, I was at 126,000 subscribers. When I filmed the video, I was at 125. Like I gained 1,000 in like the 3 days between. But yeah, so from 125 to 250K in just under 18 months, and dealing with's not the right word for all of this, but in the midst of like having my basement and studio flood and the birth of my third child and everything else that's gone into it, like, just freaking awesome.
Yep.
I was going to start the show in my opening monologue by saying, 250,000 people can't be wrong, but that's how we got COVID. Sincerely, thank you all. This has been so much fun. And if you guys are excited for like the content that I'm normally bringing out, I am so amped for what I'm going to do this next year. Like, I have so many cool plans. You don't even know. So John sends over a $25 thank you. Congrats on 250K. Thank you very much, John. Much appreciate. Tom sends over $5. I do remember you, Tom. I've seen your
I remember Tom.
Profile pic around. Long time since I've been awake on the East Coast, but congrats on the subs. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And thanks for hanging around.
Now, the one thing I think that also helps the sub count is probably the culture that we've built around here. And if you want to be a part of that culture, in all honesty, 250 subs can't be wrong. But at the same time, there's a growing Discord culture, and that culture is even better. If you'd like to be a part of that, you can just go click in the description below and join there. It's a minimum of $1, but you can always do more. And also, it literally puts fiber cable in the back of Jeff's house, lights on behind him.
Oh, thanks.
So, but the community, again, I cannot stress this enough, is so great. It's humorous, it's personable. People that either have different opinions on there, it doesn't matter. You're building friendships, relationships. We are extremely respectful of everyone, of everything. There's humor, drinking, food, music, movies,
the amount
cars,
of moderation
trade.
That's required is surprisingly low for a community of almost 1,000 people.
Exactly.
Right.
And again, I have to say our mods are excellent, awesome mods too. So shout out to you guys for doing the job, so we don't have to do it. We can just sit back and relax. And the community is not what it is without you guys. But again, if you're on any Discord community, anything like that, any tech one, join ours for 1 month. I dare you, I challenge you for 1 month. Do it for January and find a better one.
You can't.
If I'm wrong, I'll drink a beer.
I don't know if there's ever been a lower bar set, John.
I'll drink a triple IPA.
I get to pick the beer.
If I'm wrong, Jeff will drink that pickle beer.
Ooh. John better not be wrong. Novella Hub wants to know if I'm adopting Steve or John to add to my family. Yes, in fact, if you follow me on Twitter, I built John his own bedroom here under the stairs. We call it the Harry Potter suite.
As long as it's next to the beer fridge, it's fine.
It's kitty cornered to it, but easy access.
Fine. Magically, asbesto bureau.
You're going to be more like Gollum after 3 months.
Just be.
The door creaks open. My precious.
My precious. It's going to be like a Bud Light.
It's mine. All mine. Is Craft Computing and Hops and Brews doing a dry January? Dry hopped January,
dry
maybe.
hop? Sure. Yeah, why not?
No. I did a dry January of sorts last year where I only drank when I was on camera. And I did it more than anything just to like check in with myself going, am I drinking too much? Is this a problem? Is this... Nope, I'm good.
Nope.
So
yeah, no, honestly, I will do that quite often.
Yeah.
If I ever, if my wife's even just, hey, I think it's like, I'll do this. I'll prove it to you. I'm fine. 1 month, I'm like, I will only have one drink a week.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
And then if last year again, I wasn't January, it was technically April. I tried to do it in March, but a whole month of non-alcoholic beers. If you don't believe me, I have the videos to prove it.
He was more of a wreck at the end of that month than I've ever seen him drunk. Like you're the bender of humans. Like you need beer to function, John.
Beer.
So sober.
So sober. I need it. I still have the
Bender, you're blowing a .08.
spirits.
You're stone stinking sober. Please. Little malt liquor, something.
Yeah. Then
I'll tell you when I haven't had enough.
Yeah. But no, honestly, though, if I do encourage something like that, whether you feel something's going on, I do encourage just try a self-challenge.
Yeah.
Check yourself. If you ever felt yourself going too far,
Yes.
1 month, you're like, wow, I drank too much that 1 month. Try just cutting back. Honestly, we do enjoy the beer culture here, but we also promote safe drinking.
Right, safe drinking, self moderation, etc. like that. I have a number of friends who either struggle with alcoholism or just aren't drinkers in general. My dad is one. My dad will have a beer. He's never done a shot in his life. He will never do shots. He's not the kind of person that really you want to pressure into drinking at all. And I never do. It's like, hey, would you like a beer? And he goes, yes, or he goes, no. And it's cool. And
yeah,
I hate the kind of people that pressure people into drinking in situations where they don't want to drink. Like me, I'll almost never turn down a beer, but I will turn down the second beer because I'm at someone's house or I'm out and about or I'm
driving. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so, anytime I see you guys, it's like, hey, you want to hang around for 20 minutes, have a beer? Absolutely. Hey, you want another beer? No, I got things to do.
Yeah.
Like
well, that's the nice part. Like, I think all of us pretty much kind of realize that. So we're like, hey, you want a beer? Okay. You and I, let's split one.
Yeah.
And okay, hey, okay, now we can split technically two, but the equivalent is we both had one.
Right.
Was I opened only 2 bottles.
Yeah.
And I opened up 2, it's usually a can.
Yeah.
So you got 8 ounces. I got 8 ounces of a double IPA.
Right.
So here's 8%, but you only got 8 ounces of it. And I got 8 ounces of it. So now we can enjoy 2, but we still technically got the exact same of drinking 1.
Refuse the second beer unless Corsair is buying. Actually, it's the A data parties I tend to drink a little too much at, but I have Uber service afterwards. That's all that matters.
Yes. That's always nice. Yeah, no, I do love, even last year, I still get a lot of comments on my non-alcoholic of like, yeah, here's my favorite non-alcoholic. And I'll still talk to people during this time. Here's what I found out. And people still appreciate that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So
being responsible is the part that people mess up. I wouldn't even go that far. I would say sometimes it's not even on them that they don't know they're being irresponsible. Alcoholism is a disease, just like anything else. It's a disorder in which your brain ceases to function when it comes to consumption of alcohol. And what's really funny is I've been recognized a couple of times and whatnot, and everyone always thinks I'm this stumbling, bumbling drunk whenever they see me, because I've never not seen you without a beer in your hand.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's because I film myself 20 minutes a week. Like,
well, I mean, even before this channel, Jeff, you've known what was the perspective people kind meet. Mm-hmm. John's always like, no, it's just when I'm out and about, and if I'm by myself, I'm I'm just by myself.
Yeah. But
if I'm at a community, I'm big and loud and bold.
Yes.
I'm like sipping on my one beer though the whole time. Yeah. But it's like, wow, he's had like 7 beers. No, he's still on that one.
No, he's just that loud normally.
He's just that loud and obnoxious. Yes, exactly.
All right, we do have about 10 minutes or so left in the show. I kind of want to know what you guys want to talk about. If there's anything...
we had one more super chat.
Oh, we did.
Kevin.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay. I saw it roll in and I thought I read it, but I didn't. Okay. Kevin, $20. Thank you so much, Kevin. Only found out about you about 3 months ago. Well, welcome to the bandwagon. But really enjoy and get so much out of your content. Keep going. Looking forward to your work in the new year. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And there's actually one above it we missed.
Michael. M-I-C-L-E. Is that the British spelling? It's weird. Congrats on the milestone. Filling my 42U with these videos. Any offline home-hosted smart home plans for 2022? When I moved into this house, I had aspirations, dreams, motivation, whatever, to fully kit it out with like smart home everywhere. Every plug being a smart plug, every outlet and light socket being smart, every light controllable from my cell phone, but all being self-hosted offline. You can see how far I've gotten with that. The only smart bulb that I have on in my house right now is the one that sits above my bar. And it's an Edison Wi-Fi bulb. And it is the most unreliable piece of junk ever. And it still requires a cloud connection to be able to control. So if I can get to that point and I find the right combination of hardware and I'm fully aware of there's two main ones. There's two home automation, self-hosted, open source. The problem is they are both so incredibly complicated to get into. And I have said many, many times, I'm a great hardware guy. I'm not a programmer. I can barely read HTML. Like I am not the guy to have break down your Python scripting. Or anything else for that matter. My brain doesn't work with the same logic patterns that it requires. John's does, but I'd have to pay John.
In beer, it's fine.
Right.
I'll do it in beer.
Well, there we go.
Just expensive beer.
Right. And therein lies the problem, is I don't like sharing my expensive beer.
I want all of your Mother of Storms, all of your... I charge a...
You're hitting me deep right now.
I charge a Bourbon County every 30 minutes.
Yeah. Oh.
And it better be aged, too. I want aged one.
Yeah.
Every year it goes back.
Oh, God.
Every 30 minutes it goes back a year.
Well, that's going to be a 2020. Ooh, we're down to 2019. All right. 2018
well, Jeff,
this is
like there's a little bug here. Name a code that doesn't have
When we get to 2013, you're going to start rethinking that, though.
Then I'm like, that bug's just a feature now.
Yeah. So I've done some research into home.io, excuse me, home.io, and there's two around that are floating around that are always recommended. The problem is, unless you can do the deep dive into the actual API of the Wi-Fi bulbs and outlets and everything else that you're connecting to, there's not a lot that you can do with that hardware and still keep it locally hosted only. If you want to just use it as a hub for the cloud connection itself, that's fine, but I don't want any of my devices to be cloud connected. That's the whole point. So yeah, I would love to do more smart home stuff, but smart home stuff is so incredibly complicated, and I just honestly haven't had time to dive into it with both feet because I was afraid I would drown. And
it would end up being probably similar to your cloud gaming server. Here's episode 1, and we're going to tackle it.
Yeah.
8 episodes later, still trying to get that light bulb to turn around when I push this button.
So when I walk in my door, the light should come on. God damn. Yeah.
Damn it. When it gets 30 decibels in here, red alert goes on.
Yeah. Tom says, Jeff, I would love to see a series on smart home without Big Brother following, and that's always been the goal. Yeah, Home Assistant and then io.something or something.io, home.io. There's 2 of them. There's 2 that are always recommended, and they're like, try it out. It's great. It's free. It's open source. Where's the wiki on it? We didn't write one.
Yep, that's the way it is.
Yeah. It's open source. What more do you need to know?
Someone else has got to write this. Well, kind of works.
Right. It's kind of like Epson with the Epson Moverio, because they say it works with Windows. It works with Windows in the fact that they give you the SDK to write your own applications. None of the features work on Windows, but they say it has Windows compatibility.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, I gotta get this third plugin to work with this plugin,
Right.
and then kind of works, and then write this code. No way, I gotta write it 3 times different. It kind of does it. Yeah, clap, and then it's done.
Yeah. Anyway, Freddie sends over $5. Thank you very much, Freddie. I definitely want to see that content myself. I'm opening that can of worms. Let me know how that goes. Because, man, if someone else can do most of the hardware, OpenHab. Thank you, that's the other one. Home Assistant and OpenHab. I could have swore there was a .io something in there, but that might have been homeassistant.io. Maybe that's their website. I don't know. Yeah, good luck with that. And Michael says, sounds like we need a smart home Discord channel to give Jeff a learning. If you've got the chops, yeah.
And again, though, join the Discord, because there's channels like that to talk about that type of stuff in our Discord.
Yep.
So come on in and get your feet wet. The water.
Don't make craft computing fall into bite my steps footsteps, or bite my bits footsteps. There's a reason I haven't dove into it, and I watched his experience with it and went, no.
Yeah.
That, and he stole my set design.
Hey, let's get some floor paneling and put it on the wall.
No, it was my brick paneling that he stole.
Oh, there's that too.
The
yes,
bar.
That's right.
Yeah.
I took that for a while. I might steal it.
Yeah, I've still got the settlement order if you want to read it. It's publicly available.
I still got to do the rest. I guess I got to do the rest of my area.
Tom sends over another $5. Unomas, just because. That's the best kind of just
Thanks,
because.
sir. That's the type. That's our favorite type.
Yes. I'm a programmer, and even Home Assistant is a chore. It's nice when it works, though. Yeah, and that's the experience that I hear from most people. Yeah. I want a cloud disconnected home automation service that will take even just like the generic devices and be able to use them. And even the programmers are going, yeah, when it works, it's all right, but getting there, oh man, what a chore.
Oh, it is. And
well,
that's not
what I'm signing up for.
Yeah, no. I think I wrote on there, it's like, it's just pulling hair of code and writing it and debugging, and it's like, let's write it. Okay, this now one scenario works. If you don't do it that way every single time, it doesn't work.
And I'm not even looking for the uber complicated home automation in tune with the seasons, and like at 7 a.m. my lights will slowly come on.
Oh, but see, as me as the programmer, I'm gonna like, no. If we're not doing that, now that I figured out the base, I gotta figure that out now.
And once you figure out the basics, if I can start programming the more advanced stuff, that's fine. But I can't even get to the basic level of functionality with it. I just want to be able at the end of the night to grab my iPad and go, turn all my lights off and lock the door.
Yeah.
And so I don't have to walk the house and do it myself. Like that's my idea of home automation, is having that like centralized control panel either mounted to my wall or accessible on a smartphone, or maybe both, where I can go, hey, you know what? I want to listen to music in this room. So I'm going to hit this button, and all of a sudden Jack Johnson starts playing in my kitchen. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm off and cleaning and doing my thing. That's what home automation should be, is it's invisible to the end use case.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I have someone at the door and I want to unlock the door for them. I can just hit a button and it unlocks the door, or turns on the porch light, or what. Like, home automation is just me not getting up off my fat ass to do something that I could flick a light switch for. That's what home automation is to me.
I know. Home. It's just, programming that stuff is dumb. It is. I mean, I get the whole point of being a programmer, and even with my company, like, well, Google does it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, don't say that. Don't ever say that. You just showed how dumb you are. And you're the manager.
Yeah.
You're paid more than me.
Yeah.
You're dumb.
Dustin chimes in and says he switched all his light switches for Z-Wave, GE switches. I highly considered going Z-Wave, and in fact, I even have a couple different Z-Wave USB adapters that are certified to work with, what is the Home Assistant? They're Home Assistant certified, Z-Wave USB antennas, and so they'll dive into that mesh network and they can control just about any device that's connected to it. The problem is Z-Wave is a technology from like 2001, and it doesn't play completely nicely with everything. It's not overly customizable unless you want to dig into the back end of things and make it all work. And even the times that I did get Z-Wave lights and switches and things like that to work, they were almost more trouble than they were worth. And that's my problem. Yeah, damn kids never turn things off. Yeah, that's all I want, is at the end of the night I can go night mode, and it turns all of my interior lights off, and it turns my porch light on, and it makes sure all my doors are locked, and makes sure my garage door is closed, and alerts me to any potential problems. Like, night mode, day mode, like...
You say that, but then it's like talking to every sensor, and then you have to program every
There are
sensor.
90 sensors that need to interface with night
mode. And then how often do you want them pinging back?
And sometimes it's just a relay open close, and sometimes it won't remember that you flipped that relay. And so when you know...
It'll sit there and like close again. Oh, flip, because it's just a flip relay. Oh, okay, flip relay. Well, it was on. Well, now it's off.
Michael says he's actually been working on starting up a smart home business. I've been having a blast working on it. I think you would too. By all means, jump onto the Discord, DM me on Twitter. Twitter DMs are open. Just reference this and I'll respond to you. But if you want to join the Discord, I'm sure people would be happy to have you. Only $1 a month. The $1 a month is just the troll fee. If you're going to troll me, I'd rather get $1 from you than not. Yeah. I haven't had that issue with it. What version of Z-Wave stick are you using? I can't remember because it's been over 2 years ago. I was researching it before I moved into this house in anticipation for, like, when I move in, I'm going to get all new switches and everything's going to be Z-Wave and it's going to be great. And I could barely get a lamp to turn on. Oh, Michael says it's on Discord already. Excellent.
And there you go. Yeah, just join the chat and just tag...
engineering would probably be the best room for that. Either engineering, level 17 is more maker stuff, but yeah, I'd say engineering. If we could get a discussion going in there, and if it evolves into a conversation that needs its own room, we'll make its own room. I'll have to find another Star Trek reference for it, but you got anything?
No, we already had cargo bay.
Yeah, we've already got cargo bay. It's worth nothing. 1 troll equals $1. 100 trolls is also only $1. Don't give them ideas, Ian. Damn it. You're the one that stole my troll toll.
Yeah, I won't say the rest of that. Well, it is 10:04, Jeff. It is I think a good time to end this and probably get ready for the awesome super secret after show.
Yep.
That, again, if you are one of the few trolls that do pay that $1, and it can be more, can be a part of that super secret after show, to where we get to talk about whatever we want and be a little bit more adult, but we are still very mature in that area.
Sure. Do you have an astrometrics already? We don't have an astrometrics. We obviously have Wesley's quarters, which is our shit posting room, where if it makes you say "shut up, Wesley," it goes there. Tom, $5. Night. Thank you, Tom. I'll need to think of a name. So we have stellar cartography for camera stuff. We have engineering for hardware, like computer hardware. We have communications for networking. We have level 17 for maker, 3D printing,
10 forward for food and drink.
10 forward for food and drink. We've got Talking Heads. We've got an exclusive Talking Heads chat where you can chat about the show and talk about news throughout the week. We've got Cargo Bay for buy, sell, trade.
Klingon Opera for music stuff.
Mostly metal.
Domjot Arena for sports.
Yes.
Historical Documents, which is actually probably the only non-Star Trek, but
also the best Star Trek.
The best Star Trek, modern one, reference.
Yeah.
So
Historical Documents for movie and film.
Yes, exactly.
Those poor people.
Surely you don't think
Gilligan's Island is...
Such a great movie.
All right. Thank you so much for watching episode 216 here on Talking Heads. It has been real here on Wednesday night. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news. Follow me on Twitter at Craft Computing for daily shenanigans like what you've seen here. Follow John on Twitter at Hops and Brews or any other social media platform. And I do mean any other social media platform.
Yes.
John, you got anything to plug for anything upcoming that you're working on?
No, actually, I do have. I just started working on my new studio. It's a bit echoing here, so I'm going to be working on that. Going to do a couple just basic beer reviews real soon, but I do have some very cool scientific video, hopefully coming at the beginning of the new year. So I would stay tuned for that one.
Nice. All right. Hit like on this video if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to Craft Computing if you like the content here. Think about joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. $1 a month gets you exclusive access to the Discord server where you can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and take part in the after party, which is like Talking Heads After Dark. It's a good time.
It's a good time.
Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. And as always, we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Cheers, y'all.